right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys face to face. I'm back home. I'm feeling better. Still on the recovery, but certainly a lot better than I was a week ago. So I do want to cover this update briefly before things expire. I know that a lot of people have been asking me with the sales winding down on the uniforms, and I haven't done any reviews on the uniforms. Obviously, I haven't basically put out any content besides the patch notes and then the voting thing. So I did want to give you my preliminary thoughts on those uniforms before they disappear for the time being. I also want to point out that the seasonal uniforms should be coming up very soon. We should be getting sneak peeks like in the next couple of days for the seasonal uniforms. So keep an eye out for that. As far as the data mines go, I believe Phil Coulson was data mined, believe it or not. But besides Phil Coulson, I did not see any other. And I'm trying to pull it up here. Yeah, I don't have anything solid, but this was the Reddit post that I am referencing here. There are leaks on Discord about Coulson getting the uni, and apparently there was also a screenshot of that same message on Discord, but I can't find it here on the Reddit. So I'm just going based on my memory and what I saw like a few days ago. So yeah, apparently Coulson is getting something, and then we don't know who the other one will be, but presumably that one will be the female paywall uniform, because that's usually what they do. Now, in regards to the new uniforms, we have Hela with the tier 4, we have Wenwu with the tier 3, and then we have Nebula. We have also Kahori. I haven't unlocked her yet. I'm still meaning to make a video about that. The event still has 7 days on it, so yeah, even if you've completely ignored this, you can still actually pick up the character in the time that it takes. I still haven't done so myself. As far as Hela goes, I haven't done a lot of testing with her. I did unlock her potential after just a couple of days. I have a PvP build on her, and that was essentially where I thought her value was going to, increase, but mainly due to the fact that the devs didn't upgrade her kit. From what I understand, especially from other content creators doing much more rigorous testing, this uniform is not a big upgrade. And I would actually refer to Commander's video. This uniform is not the upgrade Hela needed. I would refer to that one. It's less than 24 hours old. You should definitely go and check it out if you want a detailed breakdown on the character. Essentially, from what I understand, and from the limited testing that I've done, this new Hela is better for PvE, but she is better for PvP, but she's not so much better for PvP that it really makes a big difference. And the most embarrassing thing here, sort of like Doctor Strange, is that her old uniform actually outperforms the new uniform in certain situations where you have characters like Adam Warlock. So she actually performs worse against characters with low cooldown spammable iframe ignore skills with the new uniform compared to the old uniform. Why I say Doctor Strange is because instead of having her heal on 2 skills like she does with the Asgard Invasion, she now just has it confined to the 5th skill, that gives her 30%. So her healing is more consistent now, and it's a larger chunk, which means it benefits more from increases to recovery rate, but that's really not enough. And if it's just her defenses and her HP heal being affected for PvP, which is her main game mode because of her uniform effect, it really doesn't do enough for the character. And it's like Doctor Strange because, man, it's been 2 years, right? It's been 2 years. I don't really have the energy right now because it's like midnight and I just got off a 14-hour flight. I don't really have the energy to make a rant about how they barely improved a character 2 years later, but they barely improved a character 2 years later. So, if you're a huge fan of Hela, if you love the way this looks, then yeah, sure, get the uniform for sure. If you were going to tier 4 her anyways, then I would get the uniform for the flexibility and for the increased PvE potential for sure. But if you're on the fence, for whatever reason about this character, if you don't use her very frequently for Otherworld Battle and other content like AC, I would say this uniform is possibly a skip, which is embarrassing because it's the tier 4. So I really urge the devs to go back to the drawing board on this one. They did not do enough for Hela, and it shows. It shows very obviously. No iframe ignore, no reflect, no new abilities, nothing. They basically just copied and pasted her kit. They moved the healing around, and they added some cool animations. Don't get me wrong, her animations are really cool, but that's not really going to sell it anymore, right? We've talked about this in the past with characters that just get upgrades to the look and don't really get upgrades to the... What is going on? Why is the AI on? They don't really get updates to the actual function of the kit. It's just not enough. So yeah, I really do encourage the devs. I think if nothing else changes for this update, Hela has to get a bump. It's really embarrassing that I can't recommend the latest tier 4, but that's really the case here. Wenwu, I honestly have heard nothing about him. So that's the one that kind of sticks out to me the most. Like, I've heard a lot of negative and mixed reactions about Hela. I've heard good things about Nebula, and then I just haven't heard anything about Wenwu. I actually just noticed that the rings change color on his arms, which is really cool. And I personally really like Wenwu, and I'm going to try to make it work for him in something. I haven't had the chance to test him, as you can obviously see here. I don't even have a custom gear. But I fear that given how mid the rest of the update is, that they probably also, you know, kind of screwed up with Wenwu. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I don't really have much information on him, but again, not a tier 4, right? We have better blast villains. I don't even know if Wenwu competes with Mysterio, in case you don't have Magneto for ABX and ABL, because he is a blast villain. But keep in mind that, like I said, the seasonal uniforms are coming for Christmas, which means Magneto's uniform will be on sale probably in a week or less. So telling you to tier 3 Wenwu as a replacement for Magneto is pretty dumb, especially considering I'm actually just looking at it. He doesn't have any ABX cancels except for silence. So yeah, he doesn't fit the bill at all whatsoever. That's actually really embarrassing. Holy shit. He has paralysis on 6 and he has silence on 5, and that's it. He doesn't have burn and he doesn't have any ABL stuff. So yeah, there's no way he's a viable alternative. That's actually kind of embarrassing. Unfortunate for Wenwu. And then Nebula. I think Nebula, by far the best character of this update. It's very obvious that she got a massive upgrade from Endgame. There's no doubt about that. So if you're even a casual fan of Nebula, I think this uniform is absolutely a pickup. It also makes her essentially the best standalone combat female. That's not a high bar to pass. Let me put it that way. That's not a high bar to pass. She's competing with uniforms that are over a year old, like She-Hulk, like Titania. These uniforms are over 12 months old, right? But that has more to do with the fact that Netmarble just doesn't upgrade and doesn't have a lot of strong combat females. There's a bit of misogyny there. Okay, meme. But seriously, combat females besides Valkyrie just don't get upgraded in this game. And when they get upgraded, they get like kind of side grades like Scream and shit like that. They don't really get like massive, you know, giga upgrades. So yeah. She doesn't have a lot of competition in the category, but it's still meaningful for people that are really into ABX. However, I will point out that combat female is only an ABX thing. So it's sort of, if you watch my video on uniforms that I feel are kind of overrated, and I talked about Green Goblin or Red Goblin, the reason for that is the same thing with combat female, is that speed villain is only an ABX thing. And I'm not saying that ABX isn't important, but especially if you're chasing rewards, ABX just doesn't have the same beneficial rewards as ABL does. It just doesn't, right? It has some good rewards for sure, and it has the tier 3 box at 15 million, but Nebula's not hitting 15 million, right? Even if you have the most juiced out account, maybe she's going to hit 13, maybe, right? But it's really at legend mode, and that happens at 12, which is in some cases a lower bar to hit, where you're going to get those tier 4 materials. So yeah, I would say out of the 3, Nebula is probably the most sort of must buy. But even then, it's really if you're into ABX and you're tired of playing Titania, Valkyrie, She-Hulk swap, because honestly that's the best thing about Nebula, is she has paralysis on 5, right? She's got silence on 3, and then she's got where's the burn? She doesn't have burn? I thought she had burn as well. I swear she has burn somewhere. Okay, maybe she doesn't have burn. What the? How does she not have burn with all these burn skills? Blazing this and burning that. Does she really not have burn? That's crazy. I thought she had all 3. I swear in the patch notes I read that she had all 3 abilities. Wow. Oh no, okay, it does. Okay, yeah, I'm crazy. Yeah, okay, it did. Okay, her burn applies as part of her passive. Okay, my bad. So yeah, she has all 3 abilities, which is great. It means that it's so much smoother to play. And if you want more details on her ABX function, I would recommend checking out free-to-play adventure Koshal's video, where he uses a mini rage obelisk, and he talks about how Nebula is sort of the new meta. I will say this though, and Deathproof had a video where he talked about this. I don't have it on my recommended here, otherwise I would click to it. Sorry Deathproof. But he basically says, Nebula is meta for combat female, but not by very much. So it's not like you're getting a huge upgrade over Titania and She-Hulk. Obviously, if you had bad scores with Titania and She-Hulk, then yeah, you're going to get a big upgrade here. But You need Sif by default in order to combine the team because you need Sif leadership and passive support. So if you don't have Sif, it's going to be a bit more of a struggle, or you're not going to see as much of a bump because you're going to be forced to use Titania or She-Hulk lead if you're going to try to solo with Nebula. So all in all, what I'm basically saying is that all three of these uniforms are kind of a disappointment in one way or another, right? They don't go far enough with Hela. They don't go far enough with Nebula to really like make these characters stand out amongst their peers and amongst their competitors, right? And then Wenwu is kind of just sitting on an island, marooned, because he has nowhere to really compete, right? Because the only category he could really compete in is ABX Blast Villain, and they didn't give him any of those abilities. So yeah, this is probably the worst update of the year. This might actually go down as one of the worst updates ever. Based on the fact that the characters are weak, there's no meta shift, there's no game modes, and basically the only, like, I don't want to be an ass, but the only good thing about this update is the fragment combine. Straight up, the convert fragment. This is the best part of the update right here. This is the best part of the update. If you haven't checked this out, I encourage you to check it out. It's awesome. Look at this. I have 800 of these bad boys. And now I can go and convert them. I mean, this is going to take me some time here, but I can go and convert them to number 6, right? And I can sort of balance my my stock here. So I can go ahead and do this 10 times. I burn 80, but I get 6 of these back, or sorry, 10 of the 6. And now I can open 10 more chests. I can just automatically open 10 more chests. And if I do this a few more times, yeah, I don't know. Like, someone could do the math on this, but 8 to 1. I'm going to be, because my lowest one right now is still 6 at 49. And then it's going to be 58. So, I mean, this for just what I have saved up right now, this is probably going to net me an extra like 100 chests, which is probably going to guarantee me a CTP. So this is like outstanding. I really cannot stress how good this convert fragment thing is. It's absolutely insane. As far as whether you want to do the normal conversion, which is 2 to 1, but it's random, or whether you want to do the guaranteed conversion, which is 8 to 1. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for you. I think if you have a lot of excess fragments like I do, where you have one of the sets that's at 200 or 800, and then you have another set that's at 50, like that is such an insane disparity, right? It's more than 10 times more fragments on one than the other. Then I think you should go for the guaranteed, right? If you have if yours are more balanced, then maybe you could do the normal one because you kind of need you need a little bit of everything. But someone with stronger math skills could probably identify whether it's just straight up better to always do the guaranteed conversion, you know, based on how many fragments you have. But yeah, this is amazing. And you can also, I think you can you, no, they still haven't added the thing to like rapid craft the chests. Okay, that's the other quality of life thing that they really should have added, where you can just like, oh, holy shit, let's go. Yeah, so basically, yeah, see? Yeah, okay. So it's not going to be the worst update ever because they added the fragment conversion. But literally, this is the update. This is the update. Screw Hela, Wenwu, Nebula. Go build Kahori, obviously. Amazing free-to-play character. Apparently, she's very strong. She's very, very high energy attack. Apologies that I don't have her built up yet, so I don't really have anything to say about her, but I think she looks really cool. And I think she's only, yeah, man, she looks awesome. And she's free. So yeah, no doubt there. No brainer there. But yeah, I think this update's a bit of an L. We'll see what happens if the devs, you know, address this with maybe some buffs to everybody. But honestly, I think everybody needs buffs, especially Hela. It's kind of embarrassing to have a bad tier 4 character. I mean, that's the whole point. They're the pinnacle of the game right now. So having bad tier 4s is really kind of disappointing. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this update. I think I already know, but hey, I want to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for watching my previous videos as well. I appreciate it. I know they're pre-recorded. It can be a little bit jarring or kind of not topical, but I do appreciate everyone that went and watched them. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.